BetVictor sponsors Sky Sports coverage of World Matchplay darts.
Blackpool is buzzing tonight. Constant tension around the Winter Garden. Feeling the power. Taylor's done it again.
Welcome to On The Wire from the BetVictor World Matchplay at the Winter Gardens in Blackpool. I'm Dan Dawson. We're going to start with some headlines from the tournament. First, PDC press official attacked by 6.5-foot monster from Stoke.
Yeah. Good man.
Bunting in paternity shocker.
Are you related to Peter Griffin from Family Guy?
He's my dad.
And Dave Chizzy Chisnell. Dave Chisnell there, ladies and gents. Dan Dawson here, and I'm joined by Rod Harrington, two-time BetVictor World Matchplay winner. We had some games on Monday night, the completion of the first round. The obvious place to start is Adrian Lewis, a 10-0 whitewash of the debutant Andrew Gilding, 110 average. I spoke to AD, he said it could have been 130. I predict record averages, world record averages. Rod, can he produce that kind of form through a whole tournament?
Yeah, I think Lewis can. I mean, we've always talked about Lewis, that what Lewis is going to turn up. He's prolific. He's what we call one of the power scorers on that treble 20, and he proved it tonight. We've been waiting for him to turn up after he won his second World Championships, and he's been hit or miss on a few of the tournaments. But tonight he turned up, and I think it was irrelevant that he was playing Andrew Gilding, the debutant at this tournament. I think he could have played anybody in that mood, because AD gets up, plays the dartboard, and when he gets on that run, he is unbeatable.
Well, Goldfinger told me afterwards that the only way is up after a 10-0 drubbing in your debut. But let's hear what AD Lewis had to say. Dave Allen was talking to him.
I said to you earlier that whenever you get a haircut, you play well. That was some haircut you've had.
What you said actually was when you've got your ears lowered. You said.
Yes.
But yeah, I mean, like I said, I've been putting a lot of work in last 4 weeks, 5 hours a day, and I know my form's good, and I believe I can win this year.
I mean, 110 average today, over 50% on your doubles. You only let Andrew have 2 darts at a double in the entire game, 5 180s. That's pretty much as good as you could get in this first round.
Yeah, I certainly think so. I mean, it could have been a lot higher average. I mean, I was hitting 140, sorry, and the first 2 was perfect, and I was missing. I was hitting 140, so if I can improve my 180 hitting, I could walk off there with 130 average, I think.
I love it. You've just hit 110 average, and you've come off and kicked yourself over the backside for not hitting enough 180.
Confident man, AD Lewis. We also saw Stephen Bunting, the Lakeside world champion, knock out the 6th seed Peter Wright. Peter Wright dressed apparently like some sort of out-of-control barbecue. Not a particularly hot performance. Bunting, though, impressive.
Very impressive from Steve. I mean, when he came over to the PDC from the BDO, their world champion, he had a lot to prove. He had a lot to live up to, and he did that tonight. But you know what? Peter Wright has been playing absolutely brilliant for a long, long time. I didn't expect a poor performance from him. He missed doubles earlier on. Bunting jumped on that and put the pressure on, and for the very first time I see pressure in Peter Wright's face. And he didn't handle it tonight. I think he'll go on and do it for the rest of the year, but tonight certainly it weren't a good day.
Well, disappointment for Andrew Gilding and Peter Wright, both guys from East Anglia. The other East Anglian representative on what only me is calling East Anglia Monday at the darts, Mervyn King, and he beat Kim Huybrechts and beat him pretty well.
Yeah, I have to say I thought Kim Huybrechts may nick this, but Mervyn King, I mean, he's a brilliant player, we know what he's like, but he ties himself up in complaints, to be quite honest. He does like a complaint, Mervyn, about the boards and whatever, but tonight he turned up. He's great on the treble 20, and he took the game to Kim Huybrechts, and Kim Huybrechts couldn't handle the pressure, in my opinion, and he folded a little bit at the wrong time, and Mervyn King absolutely punished him for it.
It was 101 average from Mervyn King. Very, very impressive stuff. Gary Anderson, Jamie Caven, last game of the night. It was a tight one, and it all came down to a breaker throw late on in the game. Gary Anderson, one of the form players this year.
He's been playing brilliant, Gary Anderson. We used to talk about him that he missed so many doubles. He doesn't now, we can't say that. But the 15th leg, I mean, it weren't the brilliant of games that we thought it might have been, not the really high scoring, but that 15th leg that Gary Anderson nicked was the story of the whole match. And he went on to won the game 10-8. And first rounds you just get over. It don't matter how you play. And Gary Anderson certainly got over the line.
Well, we have the second round completed now, and after some of the performances, there's got to be changes to the outright odds. Charlie McCann from BetVictor, tell us what those changes are.
Well, obviously they did. Almost all revolves around Adrian Lewis. 11-2 from 8-1. We cut him to 13-2 from 8 originally. Punters well latched onto that. They thought that was too big. Had to push Michael van Gerwen, world champion, out 2s 9-4 as well. Gary Anderson 10s from 12-1, but also as well Stephen Bunting 25-1 into 18-1 with the big mover of the night, Adrian Lewis. When you think, of course, he averaged over 31 legs. The last time he here with the Winter Garden, he averaged over 106. And he's averaged 110 tonight. And of course the semi-final before that against Michael van Gerwen, which we won, he arguably is the informed player. Punters have latched onto him. Lewis 11-2, but MVG still the 9-4 favourite.
Thank you very much, Charlie. Well, the second round starts on Tuesday, and we have got 4 cracking games for you. We start off Andy Hamilton against Dave Chisnell. Rod, is the Hammer back to his best?
No, not to his best. No, I mean, we're talking about a guy here that's never been out of a quarter final in many, many years. But he's not at his best. He's still trying to get there. But he's up against a guy, Chisnell, that if he can get in front, put some pressure on him, then he can win this game. But if he lets Chisnell get in front of him and starts hitting this treble 20, Chisnell prolific on the 180s. I see Chisnell edging it because I think he's more comfortable this week. But it's going to be a tough one, and it's going to be a tight one.
We got 2007 champion James Wade. He's against a former world champion and finalist here in Richie Burnett. Michael van Gerwen, the world #1, against Ian White, who's just so solid. Very impressive from Ian White in the first round. And Simon Whitlock, I mean, he's up against Barney. I mean, there's some ties here, Rod.
That's a great night of darts. I mean, the Barney against Whitlock is going to be the cracker of the night for me. I mean, Barney's got that lazy lob, as I call it, you know, and he played really well against Van der Voort, took out doubles when he needed to. But Simon Whitlock's on a mission at the moment, played really well last week in Dusseldorf, losing in the final, and he's got a lot to prove. And I think he will prove it tomorrow. He's going to take the game to Barney, and Barney's going to have to be on his game. Premier League champion, Barney, and he's going to have to prove that he's worth that Premier League title.
Well, Charlie, from BetVictor, tell us what the odds are for tomorrow.
Thanks, Dan. Yeah, Andy Hamilton, the outsider, 11-8 against Chizzy, 4-7. James Wade, a big favourite, 1-5 against Richie Burnett. Richie Burnett, of course, when interviewed by Dave Allen, spoke and he thought he was very confident in that. Michael van Gerwen, despite the fact that, of course, Ian White had scored very heavily in the opening game of the tournament. Michael van Gerwen, the 9-4 favourite, outright 6-1 on from that. And then the big one, I think it's fair to say, everybody can imagine that it all sort of revolves around the last game. Raymond van Barneveld 8-13. Of course, he beat his Dutch friend Vincent van der Voort, but Simon Whitlock, one of the informed players, and I think that really could be one of the games of the night. And there's my picks. What will the highest checkout be? I think we could get some fireworks tomorrow night. I think, obviously, everyone's got that first game. These are all winners, remember. They're all confident. I think we'll see a highest checkout of over 151.5. When you think Simon Whitlock, somebody like Simon Whitlock, of course, loves the 170. That's 10-11. Match with the most 180s. I think it's like the wedding feast of Cana tomorrow night, but we're going to save the best till last. And, of course, his lazy lob, of course, of Barney that Rod was so enthusiastic about earlier. Whitlock versus Barney, 2-1. Whitlock versus, I'm very keen. Let's get it right. Barney did win, but I don't think his statistics, but I thought Vincent maybe froze on the night. I think Whitlock's, and I really do think that 5-4, that would be my bet of the night. But what a game of darts that is. And of course, that's the, we left out Michael van Gerwen at 1-6 for our enhanced treble for tomorrow night. Chizzy, Wade and Barney, 9-4. Everyone's involved in the Barney army. I'm against him, 9-4. Rod, and I think you've got a couple of picks for yourself for tomorrow night again.
Yeah, I mean, I've gone for a couple of things, not the outright games. Michael van Gerwen had the highest average on the night. I mean, I just think that he's going to turn up tonight. I think we're going to see 104, 105 average out of him, especially after watching Lewis tonight. He's got to set his stall out. He's got to say to people, I'm the favourite, and this is why I am the favourite. And Dave Chisnell, well, in the Premier League, I think he hit 64 180s. Prolific on the 180s. I think he's going to turn up on that scoring. Whether he hits the doubles or not, that's another choice. But at 5-2, I thought that was brilliant. And Simon Whitlock, when he come over to the PDC, prolific on the checkouts. And he is playing well. And he's got to take out big shots against Barney to beat him. And at 5-1, I think that's great value.
Well, we've got some serious games tomorrow, some serious tipping advice as well. We've got some less serious stuff as well. Sammi Marsh, who's been a roving reporter for the week here on The Wire, she went and spoke to the Lakeside World Champion and a winner tonight, Stephen Bunting, dumping out the 6th seed Peter Wright. It's a Twitter takeover. Your questions getting answered by your favourite dart players.
Hi, I'm Sammi Marsh. We're doing the Twitter takeover at the moment. And with Stephen Bunting, he's the current Lakeside champion. And how does it feel playing alongside the big guns at the PDC?
It's amazing. I mean, you look at the likes of Michael Van Gerwen, James Wade, Phil Taylor, and just to be on that stage playing against them guys, Peter Wright as well. It's fantastic for myself.
Okay, and David Lilly has sent in, how do you rate the atmosphere at the Winter Gardens compared to Lakeside?
The atmosphere was absolutely electrifying tonight. I'd say it was better than being at the Lakeside.
There's more people in the crowd.
More people in the crowd, and obviously with all the shouting and joviality, it was fantastic.
And Sam has sent in, do you feel any pressure coming over as a Lakeside champ?
Definitely, yeah, because everyone keeps mentioning it, and it makes you think about it a lot more than what I normally would do.
And the PDC Fan 180, do you have your mind set on any Premier League place for the next year?
I'd like to think so. If I can win a major or have a good run in a major, then there's possibilities that I can sneak into the Premier League, and that'd be great ambition for myself.
And what are your practice routines?
Just basically having a few friends around the house and doing a few 501s, doubles, finishes, and that's it really.
And Brian sent in, have your targets changed since you joined the PDC after your success?
Definitely. The first target was to qualify for this tournament, and now I'm thinking about winning it. So, it's massive change.
And Stephen sent in, do you think you can get into the top 10 this year?
It's a tough ask, but if I keep performing the way I can perform and hitting my doubles at the right time, I'm sure.
There's no stopping you.
Yeah, definitely.
And Ben has sent in, are you related to Peter Griffin from Family Guy?
He's my dad.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Sammi Marsh with Peter Griffin or Stephen Bunting, whichever way you want to do it. We've been on The Wire. I've been Dan Dawson, Rod Harrington, thanks for being with me, and of course BetVictor's Charlie McCann. I will end on a serious note. I believe that this is probably the biggest danger to the wonderful game of darts, along with the Colo Yaya chant. It's Dave Chisnell's dress sense. Don't have nightmares.
Blackpool is buzzing tonight. Constant tension around the Winter Garden.